I believe on average, most people 3 or 4 inquiries.
Yep.
If they're looking for one thing, they inquire to 3 or 4 businesses.
Yeah.
They're not going to buy 4 tractors.
What's your business called, mate?
Scotty's.
Scotty sounds like a news agent.
I'm not here to take business advice from either of you. Okay. So today's topic was created by, again, the smartest man, not only in this room, not only in this office, but possibly the universe, and that would be the one and only James Hibbert.
Yes.
And so today we would be talking about inbound leads, specifically how to close them, what a process looks like behind not only inbound leads, but leads in general. But specifically why we chose inbound was a little bit of a misconception that because they've come to you, everything's ready to go.
Exactly.
They're already signed up, essentially.
And why do we feel that we can tell people how to close inbounds? Have we had a good month recently?
We have.
Oh, we've had a good month.
I'm glad you bring it up, mate.
Yeah.
So last month, I think we closed at just over 50% of the inbound leads that we had come through for the Machines for You membership site.
That's every second person.
Every second person. Just over, actually.
Yeah.
1.5 people out of 2.
Yeah.
So
1.5 people out of 2 signed up to Machines for You.
So you know what that is?
2.5 men.
Yeah, so if you and him came into the room, you'd both get closed.
Both got closed.
Nice.
But we're in good form. We know what we're talking about, and I feel like we've got a really good process behind the way that we manage inbound leads, and it's something that we thought that we should share.
Yep.
Because it is a struggle that some people do have, and as Jacob said, there's a bit of a misconception around inbound leads that they've already come on board with you, and you don't actually need to put much effort into them. They're almost like a servant to you. Like they've come to you.
It's like a lay down sale in a lot of people's minds. As soon as they see it come in, well, they want it. I haven't had to go out and ask for it. They came to me and they want it. It should be easy.
Yeah.
And it just couldn't be further from the truth.
That's another thing why the process is so important too, is because it can be the way someone perceives that inbound. Say you've hit your targets for the week and it comes in on Thursday, you'll get a greedy bloke who says, I've done what I needed to do this week. Why don't I just sit on that one till next Monday? And, essentially thinking it's a guaranteed sale. It never works that easy. Look how easily and how accessible it is to put that inquiry through. You make it that simple so that you get more of them.
I think something that we touched on as well, especially in the last episode with our analogy of Jacob's and Golden's business, is that a lot of these things will fly under the radar and we won't even notice that certain leads are slipping through the cracks. We won't notice that there could be flaws in the system until we talk to another business owner that's closing every second one. So I guess we want to go through what the differences are and how we can tighten that gap and really understand what we may or may not be doing wrong.
Yeah, and really how to capitalize on the efforts that your marketing team may be putting in to getting you these leads. From a sales perspective, how can you make sure that the whole system is actually working? Well,
let's ask the question. So obviously we've got a lot of people that run businesses watching this podcast. If you get an inbound lead, whatever you sell, let's just have an example of tractors, and someone's inquired online through either your website or your marketing avenues and they've inquired on a particular item. What is your normal process right now as it stands? Do you pick up that phone and call them straight away? If it's an email, do you send back an email? Have a bit of a think on how you go about that process as of now. But Golden, what would you recommend and what you've seen work?
You need to strike while the iron's hot. If you think about the psychology of someone putting in a lead, they're doing it because there's an issue and there's a problem that they have, or there's an unfulfilled desire.
Yeah.
From a machinery sales perspective, it's their machine's carked it, they need a new one urgently, or it's just the right time to be an upgrade, or they need a new feature, whatever that may be, right? Even if we're looking at, you're talking about attachments or something like that as well.
What would you say to people that go, well, maybe they're not ready to talk to a salesperson yet? They've only put an inquiry through by email.
Just testing the waters.
Maybe not.
What's out?
That may be the case, but it's as a sales rep, it's up to you to find out. And the quickest and most efficient way for you to do that is to pick up the phone and give them a call. Now the thing with emails as well, and people might say, well, yeah, I send them an email straight away, or they get an automated email straight away.
Yeah.
More often than not, that's not enough. We've all probably got 10 emails this morning from marketing companies and from things we've inquired with, maybe in the past, that we haven't even read.
Yeah.
And it's now, 11 a.m. If it was me, they would have got a call at 9:10.
How brand loyal is the person that's just giving you that inquiry?
Exactly.
Have they inquired to 6 other businesses around Australia on the same piece of information, on the same product? So how number one, do you compete if you're not getting onto them as quickly as possible? Will they commit to your brand if 2 days later you're talking to them finally and 3 people have already run through demonstrations or whatever it may be? These are the types of things in a competitive environment that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
You know, even just taking our platform as an example, I believe on average most people 3 or 4 inquiries.
Yeah.
If they're looking for one thing, they inquire to 3 or 4 businesses.
Yeah.
They're not going to buy 4 tractors.
The whole thing around that is you can gauge the severity because of that too. You know, I've put 5 inquiries out there because I want someone to call me in 5 minutes. I don't want to wait.
Yeah.
But again, as James touched on there, you have to give them that call straight away, because then you need to gauge where you go from there. So it's not just for them, but it is for you as well.
Or they're hot as hell.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you can put a lot of effort into getting that day.
He went, oh, mate, I just put 5 of these out, but you're the first person to call. Thanks for getting back to me so quickly. And, you know, now I appreciate it. You've made it personal, but you've also built rapport just from that. You know, there's a lot of people out there who use platforms and probably have never had a conversation with that platform. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if there's complications to it, you really do want to have that little bit more personal conversation about it, because it makes you feel safe and it makes you feel trust and it makes you feel like you can share the right information. Another really important thing when it comes to these leads, because they have come to you, you've essentially already earned that right to ask the harder questions. You're not wasting their time, you're getting straight to it. What are you actually looking to achieve? How can we help? Are our services right for you? Because then that way we're not wasting 40 minutes of your time with a demonstration. If it's right, it's right. If not, we're going to tell you that. And we're also not going to waste any of your time.
I think before we reveal all of our secrets, how about we do a bit of a story, go back to story time on our businesses, our 2 businesses with Golden and Jacob here. One thing we didn't do is put a name on either of your businesses. Would you like to name your business? Was it Jacob's Tractors last time?
No, well, it was just Jacob selling tractors.
Jacob's selling. We never
Just the
done that.
caricature.
Let's step it up.
Yeah.
What do you want?
I had that
business
big banner as well.
Yeah.
What's your business called, mate?
Scotty's.
Scotty's.
Just Scotty's.
Just Scotty's.
There's a reason behind that.
Is it
as
called
well.
Just Scotty's?
No, it's
or is it called
Scotty's.
Scotty's?
Just Scotty sounds pretty cool.
Scotty's.
Just Scotty's.
I'm not here to take business advice from either of you. Okay?
Sure, but after last
As
step.
silly as that sounds, and the whole reason why we're making a podcast on it.
Okay, we got Scotty's. You're up.
Golden Machinery Sales.
Oh, that's good, dude. That is so much better than Scotty's. Scotty sounds like a newsagent.
Oh, it sounds like a little Italian restaurant.
This is marketing track.
It does, doesn't it?
Scotty's Deli. Well, see
Bro,
that?
are you deli or are you selling tractors?
Honestly.
I could do both.
That's true.
See, what you have done right now is narrowed yourself into this little corner.
Yeah.
I can go anywhere. If the tractors don't take off, mate, I tell you right now, Deli's next.
Deli's
And if not, I've remembered the news agents. That's back there. That's the plan.
But I'm machinery sales.
Yeah.
Not tractors,
Scotty's.
excavators.
Excavate.
I might sell a crane.
Oh,
Ah, yeah, you did say machinery. Not
Yeah.
tractors.
machinery. He's leaving the
Air
door
compressors,
open.
generators, welders,
Yeah.
Catering
ice
equipment.
machines,
Ice machines are hot at the moment.
3D printers.
3D printers.
Technology.
Let's keep it simple and just get back to tractors.
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 Scotty's tractors.
Golden.
It's just Scotty's, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but some people refer to me as Scotty's tractors when I'm selling tractors.
Really? Jeez, it's getting confusing. I can't confuse Golden's machinery sales. I can't confuse that.
Cool.
Anyway, let's back to it. Okay. This example from last time, you've learned that at least some of your budget has to go into digital marketing, correct? Have you engaged? What forms of marketing have you engaged in?
Well, look, since we spoke last, after the expo at Yamba, I'll be honest with you, the back pocket was a little bit dry. put all my chips on the table on that one.
Yeah.
It hurt a little bit to see James Golden there doing exactly what I was doing, except his banner wasn't as large as mine, but there was still as many people surrounding him. So
How large was your banner?
it took up a third of the footy field.
That's money well spent.
That's a big
I was excited. It was the first real
home ground advantage as well.
Exactly. We're in the airboat, you know. They see Scotties, they're like, is that a deli? No, he's selling tractors. So there
I bet you're getting
possible misconception around the banner.
Sorry.
You know, I was placed also quite close to the food section.
Yeah.
So it was a bit like, yeah. Anyway, off topic there, but yeah. So my budget, a lot of it went into that as my advertising. But what I've done since is I got online. I had to make a couple of sales around locally, and what I thought I'd do as a good entry is I took the computer with me.
Yeah.
So I got them to inquire through my digital that I set up, just to kind of help them out. But I've also learned that that's not the most time efficient because I'm double handling now. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out.
I would have figured it out.
Well, you're the smartest man ever, so I'd hope so.
Yeah.
And what I did is I inquired on the Machines for You
Nice.
platform. Yeah. So I ran through a demo. It was really good.
Yep.
I went in on the entry level there because I'm still a little bit nervous.
Well, you only got
obviously.
so much.
This is my first step into the digital world.
Footy field size banners cost a fair bit.
Yeah. Well, this was a lot cheaper than that, by the way.
Okay. All right. So
that was cool.
Machines for You membership.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So now what I'm looking to do is obviously I've got to be the salesman here.
Yeah.
So now I've had my notifications popping off a little bit. I've got my first one. I've got to figure out what to do here, and that's why I've come to you, the smartest man in the room.
All right. I'll solve all your problems. Golden. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're currently doing marketing-wise?
Yes, I have had campaigns running for the last 6 months.
Jeez.
Across social media, so Facebook, Instagram, and then also do SEO and pay-per-click on Google.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you are on Machines for You as well?
I am on Machines for You.
Lovely.
How many footy fields?
How many footy fields?
You on any footy fields?
I do the McLean footy team.
What are they called?
McLean footy team.
That's why you're an outsider. Oh, dear
Okay, we've set the stage here. Now, we're talking about inbound leads, so let's talk about the last month on Machines for You.
Yeah.
How many inbound leads have you received?
20.
20. Jacob?
5.
5. Okay. You have a different outlook on marketing to James Golden, but
100%.
that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, and everyone's going to have a different opinion on how to go about this. But how would you go about your first inquiry on Machines for You?
Well, at first I was a little bit confused. I didn't know what it was.
Yep.
And then I read it and figured it out. Someone was trying to buy off me. So what I did was I just flicked them an email, gave them the information that they wanted.
Like a spec sheet?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. They inquired about a certain tractor, so I flicked them the PDF and all the info, and then see what happens.
Similar product range, correct me if I'm wrong?
Very similar.
Very similar. A little bit more margin for you, a little bit
A
cheaper.
little bit more profitable.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I've got the back end of this.
Yep.
You got the exact same person inquire on your machine.
I did, yeah. No, John, he was a lovely fella.
Nice bloke.
Got the lead come in the morning and called him pretty much as soon as I received
Off
it.
the bat.
Yeah.
Now, Golden now knows that John's a lovely fella because he's had a chat to him, he's understood his situation, I dare say.
Yep.
Jacob's gone about it a little bit more polite because he doesn't want to come across as that typical pushy salesman. He doesn't want to interrupt his day. There's all these things that
I understand.
has factored that decision, and we get it. But Golden's now got the opportunity to help John fix his problem, no matter how urgent that may be. Can you tell me a little bit about John and why he's needing a tractor?
Yeah, so John's been a farmer for, pretty much since he was born and inherited the farm that his dad had. Updates his tractor every few years or so.
Yeah.
And was sort of wanting to have someone close to him that just in case, and heaven forbid, that something did go wrong with the tractor or he needed some sort of service or repair, he wanted to have someone local to him.
Okay. Do you know much about John?
That his name is John and that he needs to buy a tractor.
Needs to buy a tractor.
Yeah.
Just checking. Anyway, let's fast forward a couple of days. I don't want to know the outcome just yet,
Okay.
but you're actually about to give John a call.
Yes.
Now,
Week later.
a week later, you're going to give him a call
He
because...
never replied to my email.
Oh,
Oh, I had 4 others as well, so I was a bit busy.
there's a lot of emails.
Yeah.
Now,
5 emails.
how did that call go, if you don't mind me asking?
He just said, all good, I've been sorted.
We've had a million of those throughout my career in sales. The amount of times I've heard that from people.
Yeah.
We've just uncovered our first step, which is strike. How did you say it?
Strike when the iron's hot.
Strike when the iron is
You
hot.
should know that. You probably created that
But
quote.
this is his
No,
point.
but I
The
think you
new
would have
iron
created it.
requires a lot
I
more.
probably
time.
did.
I'm more
Okay.
of a lint roller than a ironer. Sorry.
So we've got our first point, strike while the iron is hot. The quicker we do something, and the reason that's important is we're in a competitive world, as we
Yep.
touched on. John has probably inquired on more than just these guys' businesses. He's probably inquired on 7 or 8 more. So Golden's got that first opportunity to understand what he needs and how he can potentially help. The reason I say potentially is because that gets us into point number 2, which is language. Jacob can't actually portray any language to John because he's only sent over an email.
Yeah.
He's never actually talked to him and he's never understood his situation. And the number 2 thing we want you to remember when dealing with inbound sales is that they are not lay down sales. You have to go into it open on whether you can actually help them or not.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you get them on the phone, that inbound is over. It's now another sale that needs a problem solved. You need to understand how big that problem is and where we can actually help.
You live and you learn, don't you?
You live and you learn. Now, moving forward, the reason this is important is Golden's process will not work every time. It's never going to. He may scare a few people off because of his tactics, how fast he is. Jacob may get some sales out of the way he does business. People might respect the way that he does business, but when you look at it in a grand scheme of things, if Golden's got 20 leads and Jacob's got 20 leads, Golden may close 7 or 8 of them, and he may have another 7 that, because he's got to them so quickly, he's got that first step, that foot in the door. Now he can remarket them, he can work on them later. Jacob's just getting that same response. I'm all good, mate. I'm not in the market anymore.
Yeah.
Language
Missed it by
and
that much.
speed. But he does get some sales the way he does things. And no doubt, a lot of the guys that you speak with, a lot of the people that, inquire with you will buy off you. But this is about how we can refine that and stop losing people through your sales process.
That's why the process itself is so important. You can identify the gaps.
Exactly.
If you're ready to buy now, I'm going to talk to you opposed to the guy who said, hey, I'm looking around. Can you give me more info? I know who I'm going to call.
I think you just stumbled upon point 3 just there.
I did. On purpose.
Qualify. The way I look at qualifying is, let's say somebody's inquired on 3 or 5 machines. You could pick up that phone and the first thing you say is, hey mate, I got 3 or 5 machines ready to go. If you don't give somebody the chance to talk, and the best salespeople are the best listeners, not the best talkers, we have to bear that in mind. You have to allow them to tell you what they need and see if your product can align with their solution that they're chasing. The reason this is really important is once you qualify everything and anything from their words, it's not you telling them anymore.
Yep.
No.
It's so important because if you just take what they've put through as fact and that's it, you'll never really understand the extent of what that person would give because they could own 5 or 6 different companies that require 2 or 5 machines. We have to be open in the way that our language is, and we have to understand that everybody needs to qualify. You need to make sure they're a decision maker, number 1, and you need to make sure that you're giving them the chance to tell you the nature of that inquiry.
People don't like to be sold, they like to buy.
Oh.
Dude.
Whoa.
Sales 101.
Whoa.
Are you sure you're the smartest man in the room?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Oh,
So
thanks.
much-
Oh,
there's so
Glad.
much.
Thanks for the
Yeah.
confirmation.
No, it's all good.
Hibbo said it's
It's-
alright, so
yeah.
we're on.
It's been approved by
So-
James Hibbert.
So to, I suppose, take away and summarise the 3 points that we've gone over to make sure that it's easily digestible. First point, speed. Because you get to them so quickly, it allows time to be saved both from your perspective as a sales rep and from the customer's perspective as well. People don't like being in pain for a long time. If they've got a problem, they want it to be solved quickly. So it's important that you get to that and strike while the iron is
Hot.
is on. And also, obviously, quickly learning where they're at and what they need, which flows into point 2.
And that's now you know exactly what they want.
Yeah.
and you've earned that right to ask those harder questions. This is where we go into that language and that tone, and we get straight to the point. They've got a problem that needs fixing. They want to hear how we're going to fix that, and nothing else.
Yep. And it allows you to create your customer profile or your ICP.
What's ICP?
Something customer profile fit for good, yeah.
Holy smokes. You
I'm
are
on.
not on today.
I'm not on today. That's okay. It means individual customer profile.
Hey,
That's what it means.
got there.
What that means is you can paint a picture of your perfect customer.
Yeah.
The idea with your R&D is to see how well that actually aligns, because the more people you speak with that are perfect for your product, the more deals you will ultimately close. So that language of can, possibly, if we, that sort of thing knows that you're not just somebody flogging it down their throat because they don't need it. You're trying to figure out how well it aligns with their values. And finally, the most important, I feel, is qualify. Qualify who they are, why they need it. With your marketing, it's expensive. So those leads are few and far quite often. They're so valuable that if you implement this on every single one, I'm not going to say the word guarantee, but but if you implement this on every single one, I think with my best thoughts that you will start to close more deals implementing these strategies.
I think that as well.
Don't be a Jacob. Do
Be
be
golden.
a golden.
YouTube, if you did enjoy this episode,
YouTube.
make sure to give it a like and a subscribe. You can even turn notifications on so the next time we release one of these episodes, whoopah!
First in.
First in, best dress. You could be like that gentleman who didn't like us twirling pens and the whole reason why we don't have any today.
Yeah.
I hope you're happy. If you're not watching this second episode, honestly, you don't know how hard it was for me to just sit here and not do anything.
Yeah.
Whoever you are.